Richard Musgrave-Evans here again, and welcome back. We've got a beautiful subject today in the Flinders Ranges in outback South Australia. I've brought out a massive stretched Belgian linen, so it should be a bit of fun because it's going to be a late afternoon evening painting, and of course the light's going to be moving extremely quickly, so this is going to be a real challenge and a bit of fun. Alright, let's get the paint set up and get into it. Alright, I'll just mix up some white and a bit of phthalo blue to make a nice light tone, just to get a few lines drawn in. Okay, now it's going to be just all knife to start off with. I may use a bit of brush, we'll see what's happening. Where do I want? I reckon I want that about there. Just feel my way through, feel the outer range. Drops down. There, yeah, that's it. There. Comes down. It's all just a linear drawing so far. Go jut up that way. Give a bit of a dip there. The range will be out there. This will be the foreground here. I'll shoot up there. That's just a few simple lines we've got going, but I can already start to feel the shape. It's all about the major shapes and forms. That goes in there like that, and that jumps up there. That's it. Beautiful. Maybe a bit higher there. They're lovely ranges. This range is a beautiful, beautiful range in the Flinders Ranges itself. Alright, now just stand back and have a quick look and see what I reckon before I get stuck into all the colours and tones. Alright, I'll start with the darkest darks, which I'll use alizarin crimson, a bit of viridian green. It's quite dark. The opposite on the colour wheel. Now just in a few areas, where are we? Just in here, I'll create some beautiful darks, and I've half mixed. I've got a bit of red and a bit of green. Sometimes I love that red coming through, because what it does, creates a beautiful feeling. You can see through the paint with the white canvas glowing through it because it's a transparent colour. It can quite often be a beautiful thing, so I'll put a bit of that in. A bit more red, a bit more green. Okay, now straight away I'll get into the white. We'll go for some ultramarine blue. A few of those dark colours. I just want to set up a little bit of a feeling of what this range is going to be. Maybe I'll put a bit of viridian green also. It's going to change at the moment. It's quite ultramarine blue out there. But I think as the evening comes on, it'll change a little bit and become slightly more green, I reckon. I'll just stick a bit more magenta in there for now. Let me just see what I've got here. Working out what value I should be doing. It's not too bad. Go for that for now, and that'll drop down in like that. Shadow, beautiful stuff. There we got that. A bit more green in that, and a bit more magenta to grey it. The green and magenta will send it a little bit more grey. A bit more white to lighten that value. What have I got here? Right, that's going good, viridian green, a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm just trying to grey it off a bit now. A little bit closer to the foreground, a bit more burnt sienna. Ultramarine blue. Burnt sienna. Magenta. Just making it a darker value and also less chromatic saturation. That's good. Like that. Bit more over here, right up to the edge. So you can see the foreground, and then she slowly makes her way back and lightens up in value as she goes back. All right, we'll keep going. We'll go for some white. A bit more of the ultramarine blue. I'm going to go back further into the distance now, so I'm lightening the tonal value. A bit more ultramarine blue. Let's have a look. Yep, that needs to go whiter. Nice. Okay, a bit more white, maybe a bit of phthalo blue to start bringing the strength of the high key blue. It's such a strong colour, that phthalo blue. We'll just use a little bit, we won't get too carried away. That's lightened her off and intensified the saturation of that blue. A little bit darker in here. A little bit darker in here. That's good. Okay, what do we got? Lighten her up a bit. A bit more white to lighten that value, send it back even further. She's going off into the distance and getting lighter and lighter. Lovely stuff. A little bit more phthalo blue and white. Look at that, drifting off into the Never Never. Just put those ones in back here. A little bit of a range down there, further away, so it's a lighter one again. Alright, that's pretty good. Now what I might do is start putting that sky in. It's going to change compared to what it is right now, but at the same time we've got to put something in, so I'm going to try and anticipate where it's going to go in the next half an hour. Start putting that in. There's some beautiful colours over there. I should have been pointing that way. That is a great subject over there. Anyway, that's pretty good too, can't go wrong. Alright, so let's do it. We'll start off with, we will get some burnt sienna in the sky as we get lower, as the evening goes on. So I'll put some burnt sienna. Make sure I've got it the right value, pitch the right value. Just the right amount of white, not too much, not too little. Got to have enough to be a low key colour so you can really set off the accents, but don't go too dark. It's all about getting the right blend. And that looks a little dark at the moment, but your eyes get tricked by the fact that that's so white. Put your eyes off. Later on when everything's covered in, that will not look anywhere near as light in value as it is there. I'll stick that in. I'm going to be blending other colours over it. That's just to get an idea of a little bit of an idea as to what's going on there, and there'll be some other colours mixed with it that'll change it slightly. Try not to touch the blue too much if I can help it just yet, because it'll smudge. I'm going to get that on. Okay, I've got that. Now, going to get some yellow ochre and white. More white. So much fun painting these big paintings on location. It's just so much buttery fun. Big chunks of paint, splash it all on. Let's have a look. Lighten that value a little, but not too much, because like I said, it'll surprise us later on. It's actually going to look a lot lighter than it is now. Let's put that on. Split that on. I've got a lot of coverage to get here, so let's just get into it, won't muck around. Get the paint on. Beautiful. Alright. A little bit of phthalo blue now, changing tack a tiny bit, going up another layer. Phthalo blue with all that yellow ochre will create a beautiful pale green, which gets in these evening skies. It's amazing the pale green that you get. A bit more white, a bit more phthalo blue, a bit more white. Chunky, buttery stuff, I tell you what. Let's have a look. A bit more white, a bit more phthalo blue. Right, get that paint on, slap her on. Random marks. Now, like I said, the sky at the moment is not this colour yet, but it will become more this colour as time goes on, as the day rolls on. Okay, let's go to the next layer. We'll go white again. More phthalo blue. Let me just see what that is. Put a bit of that on. So it's getting less of the ochres. Oop, except for that piece of ochre there that somehow got caught in it. I got a little bit of burnt sienna on the knife. It won't matter, it'll just help key it down a little. The sky does get a little keyed down as the evening kicks in. Going to go for some ultramarine blue now as I go up, and white. Bit of magenta. A little bit of phthalo also, so it's not completely different. Yep, I need to lighten that value, so we'll go a bit more white. Get it up into the corner. It, going on nice. There's quite a breeze here, but as I've said other times, it's amazing how much this trailer blocks all the breezes, so you've got no worries at all. Great stuff. Get that paint on. Scraper on. She's going on nice. Get the coverage so we know what we're doing, so we can relate all the tonal values to each other once we've got a good coverage. Blend her up a bit. I could get a brush out, I may get a brush out, but for now I'm just going with the knife. Blend, blend, blend. Alright, going to have a bit of breakfast. What I've got here is the grinder. I'm going to grind up a few seeds for my porridge type setup. So I've got the 12-volt system in the plein air trailer here. It works perfect. Got the solar panel on the roof, got all the charging systems, so I can do stuff like this. Grind up a few seeds to digest them. The flax seeds you definitely need to grind up so your body can digest them, get into them. What do we got here? This lid's not coming off in a hurry. Might as well grind a few of these ones up while I'm at it. Sunflower seeds. Okay, let's just get a brush out. We'll just quickly start blending it for a bit of fun. Mixing those colours, that's the beauty of using a brush. It's quicker to mix the colours like so, or in a soft sort of way. The knife's great for putting tons of paint on. The brush is good for just helping to quickly blend them together. And you can see I'm not quite touching that range yet. Okay, just pull them together. Random strokes. That's it. Blend, blend, blend. It's all going together. There's so much surface area when you've got a painting this big. Tons of blending to do. Get it together. Get the edges nice and neat. I'll just work along that edge first and then I'll start getting nice brush strokes, random strokes. Let's just get it pretty good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Bring it down. Right. And away we go. Right, so we've got that one ground up nicely. Grind some flax seeds and we'll get into it now. Alright, that's good. Now I need to start putting some of the earthy tones in before the shadow. So there will be a shadow to cast across soon, but I'll try and get some of those earthy tones in and some of the salt bush. Let's have a look. Might mix up the salt bush first. Yellow ochre. We'll use those sky blues because they're such a good colour. We don't want them to go to waste. Just stick a few on. Let's have a look. Alright, so back here, a bit more burnt sienna and yellow ochre. Let's have a look. Pull that in. There's a bit more magenta. You just got to keep changing things up as it goes back a little bit. There's a twang more magenta in here. A bit more white to lighten the value. Pull that up. A bit more yellow ochre, a bit more magenta. More yellow ochre, more magenta. Put that light in. There we go. Goes there. A bit more burnt sienna. There's a different coloured hill. They keep changing on me. The hills, like as they go back, there's all different colours in these beautiful mountain ranges. It's a bit more of a burnt sienna colour here, lovely hill. Pull that through. More of the yellow ochre and the blues. Yellow ochre. Pull that through there. So Some of these saltbush, I'm using some of that green sky blue that we were using before. Put that up in there. What have we got back here? A bit more magenta and blue to key that back as it goes further back. Magenta and blue in those colours, always changing as it goes further back, you see. There we go. Lighten the value, more magenta. Come down and check out what we've got here. That should be done enough, I reckon. Just get always like to use a lid, a shovel to put the lid on, so we don't drop it in the dirt. That's got apple, cinnamon and all that sort of stuff. Let's keep on going with that. Just kind of magenta-y colours here. Stick some of that up on there, up on the ridge. Just got to feel the energy of what the light's doing. A lot more of the blues in this area. Blue greens. More blue. And magenta to grey it. Magenta. White to lighten that value with the magenta. Alright, so we'll put some of these ground nuts in here. Good stuff. Now, one of my favourites, cinnamon, always tastes beautiful. Is this a new one? Jeepers, there's a fair bit of wind around. It's all starting to get there, like big chunks of wads of stuff, like more magenta now. Using some of that sky blue just here to get rid of the blues. We've already mixed them with the magenta as it goes back. It needs to be lighter in value than that. Let's have a look. Good stuff. A bit more white, a bit more phthalo blue with that to lighten more off into blue as it goes further back. Alright, ground flax seeds now. Definitely need those ones ground, not so much the pumpkin seeds, don't have to grind them, but I just want good digestion. But those flax seeds have a little husk on them that won't break down in your system unless you chew them super well, and you can never chew them that well. So if you want to absorb them, it's better to grind them up and grind them fresh, because they go rancid very easily if they're not in the fridge. More of the yellow ochre and burnt sienna again. I'm just doing a bit more of these ranges that are slightly closer. This one here is bigger than that and rich. Very rich. Now we can go back to slightly lighter values. Greys, whatever. Blue maybe, blue. Need a bit of red and green now to mix it up. There's a few greens as well, particularly down the valley here. A bit more red and green. So we're mixing very subtle differences in the values as things come and go, depending how close they are, near and far. That's slightly strong in chromatic saturation, so if I mix a bit of magenta with it, that'll grey it off. Getting those, there's a bit of foliage you see as well. They're big arid hills, but at the same time you're getting a little bit of tree growth on those arid hills, and that's looking slightly greener, so obviously because that's what it is, tree growth, so we'll put a bit of that in. Alrighty, one of my favourite frozen blueberries, which are not, hang on, get this open, see how we're going here. Plenty of them in. Beautiful stuff. Oh, what's that lid? That's alright to put that one on there. Good stuff. Okay, now what I should probably do is, instead of just keeping on doing that, that's not perfect yet, it's not finished, but at the same time this is like completely not finished. Let's get that in. So we'll go for some burnt sienna. Of course we'll get the cad orange out for this one. Some white. More cad orange. What colour is it? Yeah. It's got a bit of a yellow ochre twang about it too. The golden light. Put that in. Nice chunky marks. A bit more yellow ochre and cad. That's lovely stuff. Look at that. I'm loving it. Yellow ochre, cad orange. It's so rich and delicious. Delicious, juicy paint. Just lighten the value a little bit with a bit of white. Nice chunky marks. Yellow ochre, cad. Slap it on. Bit more white to lighten it, so it's not too rich. Got salt bushes and whatever. Alright, let me just have a look at that for a minute. Beautiful. Mix all those magic cinnamon bits. I've got some apple in there too, as you can see, chopped up stewed apple. And that's wholemeal brown rice. It's amazing, wholemeal brown rice cooked like this for a breakfast instead of a savoury dish is absolutely beautiful. Alright, I can see there's a bit of an afternoon shadow coming in from the car casting across, and there will be a big shadow from the hill soon. So what I might do is just do that, put a bit of a shadow in, burnt sienna, magenta, just in this corner here, a bit more magenta. What I'm trying to do is lead the eyes out of this area, so by going a dark value you'll tend not to look there as much. Get that right up there. Maybe go slightly darker than that, a bit more ultramarine blue. Okay, get it. more blue. Cast a shadow across there. That's it. Burnt sienna, yellow ochre, magenta. Just trying to paint a key down version here. Get plenty of paint in there. Lower the key. Take it down to the bottom of the picture. A bit more of the ultramarine blue. What do we got? Just get a coverage. So the painting, we can analyse and judge all the colours and tonal values a lot better if we get a coverage. Right, let me just have a look for a minute. That's what I'm talking about. Put a little more cinnamon than normal. That's made it absolutely fantastic. In the words of Jamie Oliver, happy days. It's going all right. I'll lighten her up a bit again, just in some of these areas, a bit more white, yellow ochre and cads. A bit more white. Chunky style paint, I love that. Let's mix up some of that saltbush colour again with some of these blues and yellow ochre, the sky blues, these beautiful greens we're using, with a bit of yellow ochre. Kind of gives that saltbush feel. Up along the ridge there. Down here. It's coming along now. I'll mix up a few shadows, the greens and the blues and whatever. A bit more magenta to grey that slightly. Now, what do we got here? Stick them in. Fine lines, fine lines. Just putting a nice coat of oil to prevent it from rusting once I've cleaned it. Okay, well things are starting to get there, like it's the big impression. We've got a lot of paint on, that's for sure. Now, let's start reeling her in a little. What do we got here? Let me just have a look along this ridge top here. A bit more magenta. Just going to knock up a few of those colours again that I had in the distance. So I'm using the sky green blue with a bit of magenta. Needs a little bit more pure blue in that. Very subtle tonal values in this distance. If you can mix the tonal values correctly, you'll get a good result, but at the same time, they are very subtle. Oops, I'm going to lighten that one off a bit. Do more white. Taking a bit of paint off there now, you'll see. Then what I'm doing is I've got the knife on edge, because I've already put the blue in there, pulling back to it. And that's creating nice cuts of light and shadow. There's some rocky stuff here, put a bit of cad. We've just got to keep changing tack all the time. It's got to be lighter in value, way lighter. Cad and white. Just mixing up some of those beautiful colours of the rocks standing up as they're caught in the light. Knife on edge. Now these are warmer values, stronger chromatic saturation. It's where the rocks, instead of the foliage, the rocks on the hills. Okay, wipe that knife clean. Now you can see there's little bits of white, which is the canvas showing through. I'm just using the knife now to pull it, fill up those up. You can leave a couple of whites here and there for highlights, good accents. But at the same time, I'm just dragging a dry knife. I keep wiping it clean. So, what do we got? So instead of actually adding paint to those areas, I was just pulling it back to the blue. Lighten that, more white, more magenta. That's a nice one there. There's some beautiful flowing hills just through here. I like to get the feeling of the repetition with variation. One edge. The contour of the hills have got these kind of, the ancient seabed, the pattern in the hills. Kind of all the sediments are laid flat and they're lifted up, so they've got the sort of feel of the palette knife in them. It's actually quite a good thing to use to get that feeling like so. Gotta keep moving around. I'll keep putting more shadows, pulling the paint off. Wiping the knife clean each time. Take that paint off like that, and then all of a sudden there it is. It's revealed something that was there earlier. Missing there, and the contour is here. It's getting there. It's all coming together quite mysteriously. Right, maybe just in here, where are we? Just here. Bit of a creek line running through there, many miles off in the distance, so just put a few trees on edge, light and shadow. Huge few trees jutting around there. Okay, a bit more of that saltbush colour. Drawing a few saltbushes in. Right, as much as it pains me to do it, I've gone to a slightly smaller knife after all this time. Just going for some blue and white, phthalo blue to give a real high key. Just off here in the distance. I want it to be beautiful and clean. Alright, well, things are coming together good, but now what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of, what do we got, yellow ochre. I'll mix it with the knife first, bit of white, yellow ochre. Just going to put a little bit more of that in the sky. Let's have a look what we've got. Just lighten that very slightly with a bit more white. Okay. Beautiful yellow ochre. Yep. Stick that in. There we go. Just bringing it down. It's still, the sky still has a little bit more ochre in it, so I'm tweaking it to a little more of the correct colour. More of the white and yellow ochre. A bit more white in that. Beautiful stuff. Blend her up. There we go. Blend her up nicely. Little marks here and there. Right, so I used the brush to soften, but now I'm going to blend it a little more with the knife. Lovely stuff. Bring that up. Random marks. Beautiful green blue sky as it goes up into the heaven. Blend her up. That's it. Blend her in. That's nice. Bit of a workout. It's coming together nicely though. It's just blending the sky beautifully now. Right up to the magenta-y top. There we go. Coming in. Alright, well I've certainly got a lot in. It's pretty good now, I reckon. I should probably leave it alone. It's so spontaneous. It's so captured the moment of the light and shadow. Actually got it done a lot quicker than I thought I was going to. I thought I'd be here right until sundown. But I've gotten it all in before that, and I'm really happy about that because it's a big painting. Really happy with the way I've managed to achieve all those subtle colours and tonal values leading from the foreground, gradiating off for miles and miles off into the distance. The beautiful lowering of the sky as it comes into the different values. It's starting to come out now more into the colours that I was using. We've got the burnt siennas and the ochres as well as the blues and the pale greens. Darkest here, lightening off. Beautiful patterns, contours of the Flinders Ranges, that beautiful ancient seabed laying down on its side, standing up on the angle. Repetition with variation. On the whole, pretty happy with what's going on. Why don't we get that camera off now? We'll come buzzing right in. You guys can have a closer look and see what you think. All right, thank you.